It's been 3 years since Apple first teased the new version of CarPlay, and finally, it's here, sort of. Now, it's called Apple CarPlay Ultra, and for now at least, it's only available in some new models of Aston Martin, like this DBX 707. Now, it will be coming to more models from more companies in the future, but for now, this is it. It's quite complicated because it no longer just runs on your iPhone, this one here, it also runs on the car itself, sort of, but you need your phone connected wirelessly, obviously, or wired. The user interface looks just like CarPlay on the center screen here of this Aston Martin DBX. You've got your apps, you've got the screen as you normally do, you've got the home screen there, and it works in the usual way, but you might have noticed a few little extras. There are temperature controls. You can adjust the fan speed, you can adjust the temperature on either side, you can adjust where the air comes from. There's even a climate app where you can adjust more settings. You can tap more settings there and then you get cold cabin, warm hands, warm cabin, warm feet. It basically changes the climate control to suit you. Now, these are all Aston Martin features and functions, but they're now baked into CarPlay. There's a few things going on here. Firstly, there are apps being sent from your phone, so navigation, streaming, that sort of thing. The phone obviously is coming from your phone like it always used to, but there's now also a bit of CarPlay running on the car itself. And that also means we now have CarPlay on the driver display. On the screen behind the steering wheel, you can see a couple of dials with Aston Martin branding. It looks all very familiar to Aston Martin drivers, but actually this is running on CarPlay. It's not running on the phone, it's running on CarPlay in the car. Apple has created a system called Punch Through, where some of the interface elements that you see on the car's screen are generated by the car, but sort of appear within CarPlay. So things like the fact that I've got the handbrake on and there's a little icon to tell me, the fact that I don't have my seatbelt on yet and there's an icon to tell me, the fact that the car has done 1,340 miles, that is all the car's own data, but it's being made to appear within CarPlay. And what you can do is, with the trackpad here, you can swipe between different user interfaces. So you've got couple with Aston Martin badges on them, and some of them that look completely mad, like that one. So it's all very complicated, and it's a real mix of what Aston Martin wants to do, what Apple wants to do, and what the driver expects their car to look like, and what the interface looks like. If we go back into here, we've got radio, which appears like a iPhone app, but that is actually the car's own radio system. It's just appearing within CarPlay. Similarly, now, instead of leaving CarPlay to get to vehicle settings, they're here. There's an app, well, it looks like an app, called Vehicle. Tap on that, and then you get all sorts of settings related to the car. A lot of these are set it and forget it. You only need to go through all this once, really. Drive modes, you can access those. So if you want to change the drive mode to Sport or Sport Plus, you can do. You can change the exhaust from Sport to Sport Plus, just as you would using the buttons or using the dial here. Now in Aston Martin, a lot of those functions can be changed using the physical switchgear. So you're probably not going to be digging through the interface all that much. But for cars that put everything on the touchscreen, and there are loads of those these days, this is going to be great because no longer do you need to faff about leaving CarPlay, finding the car's own climate app, for example, playing around there and then getting back to CarPlay to go back to your navigation. That won't happen anymore because it's all within CarPlay. So say you've got your navigation running, to change the temperature, well, you just tap there, don't you? You don't have to leave the CarPlay environment. Let's use Siri, shall we? Good luck.
Where would you like to go?
Aston Martin headquarters.
Sorry, I can't show you the results while you're in the car.
Good, excellent. That's not worked, has it? Oh dear. Go back onto here. Aston Martin Gaydon factory. Right, so that's my route set up on there with no help from Siri. Now, Aston Martin is the first brand to reveal CarPlay Ultra, but it's also a case of really good timing for both companies because back in 2022, when Apple announced new CarPlay, it wasn't called Ultra back then, it was just the new CarPlay, Aston Martin was busy creating a new infotainment system and a new operating system, a new user interface for its cars. It had decided to no longer work with Mercedes and use the UI from there, and had started developing its own. Well, it was perfect timing because Apple and Aston Martin got together on this project and they were able to bake in CarPlay Ultra at an early stage. And that's crucial for this system because it's embedded so deeply into the car, into the car's software and its UI, that You really need that collaboration to happen early on in the car's development. Now, that's great news for Aston Martin, but it means that, well, we might be waiting a little while for CarPlay Ultra to appear on many other cars or from many other brands. Kia, Hyundai and Genesis, which are all closely related, they will be delivering CarPlay Ultra at some point. We don't know when exactly. And I believe Renault as well is on the list, and you'd expect Alpine and Dacia to also be there, given they're part of the same family, although that's me guessing, to be honest. It's going to be a bit of a staggered rollout, and it's going to take some time before we see CarPlay Ultra on a huge amount of cars, never mind as many cars that we see CarPlay on at the moment. I'm here to look at the technology, I promise, but this is a hell of a car, isn't it? Oh. We got it in loud. Yeah, we have. We got it shouty. See, I'm still looking down at the buttons to adjust things like the exhaust, because I know in an Aston Martin that's where they are. There will be a bit of learning required, I think, to really get used to going to CarPlay for these settings. So another thing CarPlay Ultra has, if I go home and then I go there and then there, we get, well, sort of widgets and things, don't we? It's like when your phone is on the charger and then turned sideways. So we've got sort of different clocks and weather forecasts, calendars, lots of things to distract you, to be honest. But oh, this home kit integration there. I suppose maybe you could turn some outside lights on as you approach home, perhaps, or open your motorised gate. I don't know. It is quite nice. I like being able to not have to have navigation on the central screen. I think that's great because your passenger can just sort of get on doing their own thing, messing around with the music and doing whatever it is they do, while I've still got the navigation in front of me. And that's all I need. I've got direction that's coming up next and how far away that is. It all works really well. It's interesting that Aston Martin said earlier today how they recognise that some of their customers will have multiple cars from multiple different brands. You know, then Aston Martin is very rarely someone's only car, and they're likely to have cars from other brands as well. And they actually said, you know, our customers have Ferraris and other brands. And I think really what Aston Martin would like to see is for CarPlay Ultra to appear on all luxury cars, certainly, so that their customers have a very familiar experience with all of their cars. That makes sense. Small criticism I've got would be with how it deals with deeper menus. So for example, a few minutes ago I went into the climate app and then changed the airflow so it was more focused instead of diffused. Well, now I want to go to the climate app and just change the fan speed, but when I go to the climate app, I'm still on the ventilation screen. Before I can do anything, I need to go back and then back again to get to what I was looking for. It would be nice if it just defaulted to the top menu every time, or to the top screen of each sub-menu. Do I prefer it? I'm not sure just yet, because there's loads of physical switchgear in this car and in all current Aston Martin. So maybe this isn't the sort of definitive assessment of CarPlay Ultra. I think we'll find out more when we start to see this system appearing in cars that have less physical switchgear. Then I'll really like the idea of getting into the climate or the vehicle settings from CarPlay rather than going out of it and back in again. For now though, it's exactly what we were hoping Apple would do with CarPlay. It's finally happened. The old CarPlay is still available, even on this car. If I wanted, I could use old normal CarPlay. It's a big upgrade. It's a welcome upgrade. It's finally here. And I can't wait to see what else is to come from CarPlay in the future. Do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because we'll have plenty more videos coming along very soon.